All right, great Monday. Well, it's not even Monday, man. Come on, it's Thursday. Hey, I love to start the week each and every week. So it's Monday to me because I'm back home, back in San Antonio, Texas, after having spent a few days out in West Virginia with the West Virginia Housing Institute group out there. Appreciate Andrew Green and everyone that was present for that convention. Man, we had the great opportunity to come out and speak with that group and really get into some things that are going to help them take their sales and their career and their teams to a whole new level. I loved being out there and spending some time. Plus, if you're ever in West Virginia, if you've never been there, I highly suggest you get out there. Sorry, let me adjust the screen here. I highly suggest you get out there and take a look at that place. Go out and explore West Virginia, especially if you get the opportunity to get out to White Sulphur Springs. They've got the Greenbrier Resort out there. Amazing place, built in 1778. It's expanded ever since then, but it is awesome. It's just, I did my, if you didn't watch yesterday's 15 Minutes Master, I suggest you go watch it. Speaking about thinking big and dreaming big, because that place right there inspires you to think big. But anyway, today we're back in action, and today we're talking sales and we're talking objections. And want to talk about one of the most important or one of the most common objections in sales overall, which is the I need to think about it, right? How many times have you run into I need to think about it? And no matter what kind of sales you do, okay? Because that's just what people do. That's what people say. And think about when you're out shopping, for things. How many times have you said that? How many times have you come across or had the opportunity to make a purchase and you decided to tell that person you need to think about it, right? So we want to talk about that, but we want to talk about the reasons why this happens and how we can best overcome that objection specifically for manufactured home sales, right? So it all goes back. It all goes back to when you first spoke to this person. If this is somebody that you have brought in yourself, let's say it's somebody who you set an appointment with, your opportunity to overcome this objection started from the moment you first spoke to them before they came in to see you. Because it's all about who we are, how we present ourselves. Are we being the consultant, or are we simply just scheduling appointments? Are we being the consultant, or are we being the sales guy or sales girl, sales lady? Okay. Because there is a difference. There is a difference because you start to build value. As we say, we start to build value from the moment you first pick up the phone and speak to those customers in what we say, how we say, what questions we ask. It's not simply about, hey, great, you want to know about that home? Perfect. What time can you come in? Right? So we've got to make sure that we have the right phone process in place to make sure that we're taking care of our potential leads and handling those in a manner that's going to allow us to set ourselves up to avoid the objections, right? Now, we should always be anticipating objections. You should always be expecting objections because there will always be objections. It's just the nature of the beast in whatever type of sales, but especially when it comes to manufactured home sales and home sales in general, right? Because it is a huge purchase. We know that already. So how we handle ourselves from the beginning in the phone call makes all the difference. What questions we're asking, especially also when we get to the point where they actually showed up. Let's say it was just walk-in. Let's say it was somebody you didn't speak to, right? They came in, and so you didn't have the opportunity to set yourself up as the consultant. So how are you greeting these people at the door? How are you handling them from the moment they walk in? How are you going through your interview process? Do you even have an interview process? But more importantly, how are you building rapport? So yes, we can teach you how to overcome the objections. That's the easy part, right? The structure, the format, what to say, that's simple. That's something that's just it's muscle memory. It should be in your subconscious. You should automatically understand and know what to say. But what we really need to focus on, ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to start getting great at overcoming objections, is to do everything within your power to not have them. And that means how you set yourself up from the beginning, how you set yourself up from the moment you first made contact with these folks. Are you standing out? Are you being different? Are you asking poignant questions? Are you setting yourself up for success? Or are you simply scheduling an appointment? Because yes, ultimately we're after the appointment, but it's about setting it up correctly. But let's get into what it takes to overcome this objection. All right. We're there. You're out there. You've shown the houses. You've asked. Okay. You've asked for the business. And hopefully you've asked it in what way? Other than price or payment, what would keep you from making the purchase of this home today? Right? Other than price or payment, what would keep you from purchasing this home today? Well, I need to think about it. Okay, great. So you've got to understand there's a formula to overcoming objections. First, you've got to acknowledge it. You want to repeat it. You want to isolate it. And then you go in for the close. Okay. Acknowledge, repeat, isolate, and close. So what do we mean by acknowledge? Why do we have to acknowledge? Why would we want to acknowledge their objection? Whatever objection it may be, but in this particular case, the fact that they want to think about it. Because most home buyers or buyers in general, think about yourself as well when you go shopping, okay? Most of them are expecting some sort of confrontation. When I say confrontation, you resisting the objection, kind of in disbelief almost, right? Like, how could you even tell me you want to think about it? But maybe you don't say that, right? But we're thinking that. So they're expecting you to want to hard close, to want to come back at them. So when you acknowledge it, now you're coming from that point of what we always talk about, empathy, right? Understanding, caring, and it kind of throws them off. And when I say that, I mean, it's just not what they were expecting. So when you acknowledge with, hey, I completely understand that you would want to think about it, right? It's a pretty big decision you're going to be making here. You're talking about spending $100,000, $150,000, whatever the price of the home may be, right? Tens of thousands of dollars. You're thinking of investing. So it's a huge, huge decision to make. I understand. I completely understand it. You would want to think about it, right? Now, if I'm hearing you correctly, you want to think about this because it's a big decision, correct? We're repeating that objection. Then we isolate it. We want to make sure, is that the only thing that is keeping them from making that decision today? Is that the only thing keeping them from moving forward? Right? So in order to do that, let me ask you, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, other than needing to think about, is there anything else keeping you from making the decision today? Because here's the thing. That first objection you get, whatever it may be, whether it's, I need to think about it, I need to talk to my spouse, whatever comes up, okay, is usually just their natural reaction, their smokescreen, their defense mechanism, their Heisman, giving you the Heisman, right, pushing you off. But you have to understand in the back of your mind, every time that you are with a client, you have to understand this. They want to buy or they think they can buy. That's the only reason they're there. So and I tell you, you need to have that in your subconscious. You need to have that in your mind so that you don't easily just say, oh, okay, great. Well, here's my card. Let me know when you're ready or when you've decided or whatever, right? Because that's the path of least resistance and you're not prepared to handle those objections. And so we need to be able to keep that in mind. We want to isolate it because sometimes that's not the true objection. Sometimes it's something else. Sometimes it's what has to do with the home itself, but we're not digging into that, right? So we want to make sure that we're setting ourselves up. So you acknowledge it. I completely understand that you would want to think about it. Now, let me ask you a question. Other than needing to think about it, is there anything else keeping you from buying the home today? I'm isolating it. No, there isn't. That's it. Okay, great. Now that's where I go in for a close. Or if they say, yes, actually, I've also got this. Now you want to address that thing that they just brought up and then come back to the think about it and overcome that. But if there were, let's say, no, that's the only thing, right? That's, my friends, that's the time where you use what's inside our full house training cards. Okay. These full house training cards, we've got two different versions of the I need to think about it. We've got 50 different objections that are specific to manufactured home sales that I've run into over my 14 plus year career in manufactured home sales that we put together for you in this great full house training cards. Okay. Cool little tin can. They come packaged in here, but listen, that's not a pitch. I just want to show you what they're about, right? So we've got a couple here. And in the back, it's got the verbiage to overcome that objection. Check it out. I figured you might say that you needed to think about it. This is a big decision, and I would want to be comfortable with my decision too. Now, let me ask you, other than needing to think about it, is there anything else stopping you from buying the home today? Right? And then we get into the close, which in this case, I'm glad to hear that you need to think about it, because that shows me that you're serious about buying this home. Since you're so serious about this, I'm sure that you want to have all the information that you need to make an informed decision, correct? So it just makes sense that we would move forward with the next step, which is submitting your application in for finance to figure out what the actual payment is. Because I've found in my experience that most clients, what they need to think about is the payment, because that's the monthly investment that you'll be making each and every month. And how can you make a decision on that without knowing what the actual payment would be? And then there's a different version of it. Okay. It's been in my experience that when clients tell me they need to think about it, they're usually wanting to think about the price, right? The payment, the home, or the company. Which one is it? We're trying to figure out what's going on here. But this right here gives you the format, gives you a starting point, because there's different variations, there's different directions that you can go on based on what happened in the conversation in your office. So hopefully you had a great conversation in your office. Hopefully you established great rapport with your client to the point where now you better understand them and you can figure out what are those driving points and how can you reassure them that the decision they're making of partnering with you to move forward in trying to purchase their home is the best decision they can make. Because ultimately, folks, it comes down to who we are as a sales consultant, who we are as a company, and lastly, what the product is. Okay? Because here's the thing. To them, a house is a house is a house. It's how you differentiate yourself, your company, your product from everyone else's. It's going to make all the difference in the world. These right here, these cards, the verbiage that's on here is just, it's secondary based on what you did up front in the interview, up front in the phone call. Are you separating yourself from the crowd? Are you coming across as the consultant? But it's always a great idea, the professional way of handling things, to be prepared for all these objections so that they come across confidently, so that they come across in a manner that makes an impact. But like I tell everyone that we work with, sales teams, sales consultants, individual sales consultants, tell them all the same thing. You need to start with empathy, and that means handling that call the right way at the beginning, handling the appointment in the right manner, or if they were a walk-in, establishing that rapport and having a great interview. Because once you know that, and especially when you know what's the driving force behind their decision to purchase a home, now there's no objection, whether it's I need to think about it, I need to talk to my spouse, I don't want to pay that much, whatever it is, you'll be able to come up with a sincere and honest rebuttal based on their needs, based on their driving decision points, what we call their dominant buying motive, right? And then when you can do that, you're going to make much more impact. You're going to have much more impact on your client. You're going to help them, empower them to make the decision on day one. And with that being said, I wanted to come in with that because for the next 48 hours, we've got a very special deal for you. Okay, for those of you on here, and I'd love for you to share this with everyone. We're going to put it out there on social as well. You can get your very own set of Full House trading cards, okay, for yourself. I highly suggest you get one for each and every person on your team, but maybe you get one per location and then build from there. But right now, what we're offering for the next 48 hours, folks, is you can get these. The regular price on these is $99, right? You go online right now on our website, and they're $99 for the deck, which is a huge value in and of itself, because this right here, these cards will help you close down an extra 2 deals per month. Easy. Close down an extra, or when I say close down, I mean deliver an extra 2 with the ones that you're actually getting to move forward on day one, because you're able to better overcome objections. These will add another 2 to 3 homes per month to your fundings per sales consultant. Okay, so $99 is a very, very affordable investment for something like this. But for the next 48 hours, we're letting you have them for only $59 a deck, and that includes shipping. All right, $59 a deck. That includes shipping. As long as you go online right now and use the promo code SIZZLE48. You got to use the promo code SIZZLE48. Let me show you here. I'm going to write it here on the comments, or you have it. SIZZLE48. All right, that's what you need to use. Use that promo code. Go online. You'll see down in the bottom scrolling, manufacturedhomesalesmastery.com/full house. You can go in there, place your order, use the promo code SIZZLE48, and you will get these for only $59, includes shipping anywhere in the US. We'll get them out to you so that you can take these next couple of months, because man, hey, we're in summer. Okay, we're in summer. Within the next 4 to 6 weeks, you're going to get those people that are trying to buy a home, trying to move, trying to get everything going. Maybe they're trying to do it now so they can have the kids in the new home before the beginning of the school year. So right now is the time to get prepared, get ready, get going, and get your own deck of our Closer School Full House training cards for only $59 through the 15th at midnight. That's when it ends. So get your order in right now, so that you can take your life, your business, your career to a whole new level. I hope this helps out. Remember, acknowledge, repeat, isolate, and close any objection. That'll help you get it done, okay? And we'll run through these real quick just so you make sure. Make sure you're diving deep into your interview. Make sure you're boldly asking what your client is unsure about. Hey, they need to think about what exactly is it that you need to think about, because they just need more information, and then address that, right? Now you want to go ahead and give them some customer testimonials, maybe some other families that went through the same thing, right? Need to think about it. Give them those, because when you do that, sometimes them just understanding that other families felt the same way will help them just get over that hurdle and move forward. Creating a sense of urgency. We know that already. Everything is with urgency. And lastly, last option, make sure you set up definite follow-up with them after your GM has had the opportunity to speak to your client as well. If you're not able to get it done, make sure you set definite follow-up with them. But go right now and get your order in for your Full House training cards, okay? Regularly $99, and you can get these over the next 48 hours, including shipping, for only $59. Use the promo code SIZZLE48 at checkout, and that way you can take your life, your business, your career to a whole new level by being a master closer. All right, guys, you guys have a great Thursday. We'll be back in here tomorrow for another 15 minutes to mastery. And until then, I can't wait to meet you.